Summary of Trump-style negotiation. Powerful strategies and tactics for mastering every deal. By George H. Ross. 50 years of negotiating. During his 50-year career as a lawyer, George Ross worked for some of the largest real estate investment companies in New York. Between 1956 and 1966, he negotiated 702 property purchases, or more than one per week, with some of the most high-powered property owners in the city. Ross met Donald Trump in 1974, when Trump wanted to buy the abandoned Commodore Hotel next to Grand Central Station. Trump had little experience, the city was nearly bankrupt and the purchase would require concessions from the station, its tenants and various city agencies. Ross noted that Trump was persistent, patient and passionate about the project, and helped him conclude the deal. Negotiation, which is all about compromise, occurs any time one person conveys information about what he or she wants or expects from another. For example, you may desire something that costs more than you can afford. Eventually, you compromise. Good negotiators take advantage of their strengths and acknowledge their weaknesses. They delegate tasks at which they are less skilled. Probably the most crucial advantage you can gain in a negotiation is knowing your counterparty's agenda. What do the people on the other side really want? What will they settle for? Discovering their goals is not easy. Because this information is so valuable, your counterparties may mislead you or stretch the truth to hide their true agenda. This leads to a basic rule. Anything is permitted in a negotiation except illegal or unethical behavior. For the negotiation to succeed, the parties must be able to trust each other enough to build a relationship. Trump's approach is to aim for a deal everyone likes, which can become the basis for a friendly relationship. Everything you do can become a negotiating tactic. If you show up late for a meeting, miss an appointment or keep others waiting, you convey information to your partners. Stay in control of the messages you communicate. Different kinds of negotiators or situations require different kinds of tactics. Sometimes you may need to yell, other times you may be reserved or conciliatory. Adapt to the situation. Build relationships. Start by building rapport and trust. People find dealing with someone they like easier than dealing with someone they don't like. Look for the things you have in common with the other parties. Be cordial. Demonstrate your trustworthiness. During conversations, listen carefully to find out as much as you can about your negotiating partners, including their motivations, desires, and goals. Make concessions where you can to boost the other party's egos and help them feel like winners. Stay flexible when you encounter obstacles. You'll close deals and enhance your reputation. Offer your negotiating partners something special. Often, people will pay a premium to buy something they think is exclusive or in demand. A corollary of this rule is that people want what they cannot have. They also like to get something for free, whether it is a one-year warranty or a $200 microwave for purchasing a $500,000 house. They focus on the free item and often forget about more important, more expensive details. Learn who the key players are. Even if some participants don't say much, you may need their approval to make a final deal. Find out all you can, including the backgrounds and goals of everyone around the negotiating table, and make sure you know each person's role. Observe body language. Donald Trump is an expert at scoping out the motivations of his negotiating partners. When Mark Burnett, the executive producer of the reality show Survivor, approached Trump with the idea for The Apprentice, Trump immediately realized that Burnett needed his participation to make the show work. He asked for and received an equal partnership with Burnett. Trump knew that top executives at both NBC and CBS would be interested in The Apprentice. NBC was hungry for a reality show, since it had passed on Survivor and needed to compensate for its mistake. Trump and Burnett were able to make a very favorable deal with NBC, including the merchandising rights for all Apprentice products outside the US. Trust but verify. Each piece of information you receive takes you to the next step in the process. When buying a building, Ross asks straightforward questions such as, who owns it? Why do you want to sell it now, and how many mortgages are on it? These kinds of questions can elicit important information. However, People often use half-truths in negotiations. Confirm everything your counterparties tell you. Maintain your skepticism and stay focused on the details. Test hard facts through action. For example, a seller was offering a Manhattan apartment at a supposedly firm price of $3 million. In reality, the seller was using the price tag to test the market. A buyer who bid $2.4 million got the apartment. Similarly, when you are buying a car, the sales representative may tell you that $28,000 is the dealership's final offer. However, if you offer $24,000 and the sales representative agrees to present your offer to the sales manager, you've learned that the higher amount is not firm. Offer to prepare the documents whenever possible. You'll gain an advantage, since you'll control the contents, and you'll know what you added or deleted. In one situation, Ross asked for some changes to a contract. When the documents came back, the other party had made additional changes he had not approved. Time is on your side. Time plays an important role in any negotiation. When Trump begins a negotiation, he meets with all the parties and tries to find out what they want. He wants everyone to feel satisfied with the result. But getting to that point requires patience. Good negotiators don't act or make concessions too early. Ask for more than you think you'll get. Then wait. Without a deadline, discussions can meander for hours. People frequently put off reaching an agreement. The party who has a deadline to meet is under pressure to conclude a deal, so if you face an external deadline, keep it secret. Give the other party a deadline to turn up the heat. Simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. Use the following kinds of simple solutions when they work to your advantage. Let's split the difference. Use this option when the price you'll arrive at is one you were willing to accept all along. Let's discuss this later. When a discussion gets heated or one party refuses to compromise, take a break, especially if the next item is controversial. Let's let somebody else decide. Bringing in an outsider, such as the other party's boss, can break a deadlock or inject a new perspective. You don't have to accept the outsider's suggestion, but it may give you a little breathing room. Let's think outside the box. When you can't come to a resolution, try taking a short recess, brainstorming or using multiple negotiating tactics simultaneously. Get organized. Prepare for all meetings. Organization is the key to successful negotiation. In addition to gathering as much information as possible about your counterparties, establish your credibility. Bring documents that support your position to meetings. Take detailed notes about who said what and what you agreed to do. Record which items remain open and which are closed. After each negotiating session, meet with your team to evaluate it. Go over what you learned and determine whether any new items appeared on the table. Discuss what worked and what you might have done differently. Negotiating tactics. Maintain control over the speed and intensity of negotiation sessions. Keep the door open by simply asking your negotiating partner to make a better deal or even by saying nothing. When a negotiating session ends up in a draw, suggest taking a break. This is not the same as saying, take it or leave it, which is final. Saying, we'll talk about this later, encourages further discussion. If negotiations are moving too quickly, ask for a concession that is not important to you, but that you know the other side must grant you. You can give it away later. Its purpose is to buy you time to reflect on what to do next. However, don't allow the other side to slow the pace. It's over when it's over. Sometimes, a party may ask for changes after negotiations have ended. The rule is that negotiations are not final until everyone has signed an agreement. So, for example, if you're buying a car, you may be able to win concessions after the deal is closed. You could tell the sales representative that you assume the car comes with a tank of gas and a coupon for a free car wash. After you sign the agreement, though, the deal is done. Asking for changes at that point is unethical and can hurt your reputation. If your counterparty demands changes after you've signed a deal, you have several options. You can sue, cancel the deal or agree to the change. Expect any discussion to be filled with animosity. Getting tough. Encountering an unyielding or aggressive counterparty who bullies, insults or stonewalls you is unfortunately inevitable. The key is to remain calm. Use these 10 tactics to overcome bullies if you find yourself in a take-it-or-leave-it situation. 1. Play by their rules. If they get tough, you get tough. Try to set a cordial, professional tone, but if the other parties get nasty, descend to their level. 2. Say nothing. You have no obligation to explain yourself. Simply tell your counterparty what you want and wait for a response. This stance takes discipline. 3. Make minor concessions. Giving in on the little things will keep the process moving. However, begrudge anything you give up, and don't give an unreasonable counterparty room to maneuver. 4. Keep your price high. It gives you more latitude for concessions. 5. Propose a range of ideas. This gives you room for compromise. Make realistic bids. To become a serious participant. 6. Question simple solutions. Splitting the difference and other simple solutions have their uses, but they may not be the best in a given situation. 7. Aim to do more than break even. Negotiating is not necessarily about trading one concession for another. Make concessions only to attain your larger goal. 8. Set an impossible deadline. Place the other party under pressure. 9. Play the waiting game. Be patient. The other side wants to make a deal. Play tough at the beginning and lighten up as the discussion progresses. 10. Before making a concession, determine its cost. If it costs $500 to print 1,000 brochures with a normal 10-day turnaround time, how much would you pay if you had to promise 2,000 brochures in 5 days? You need to know the answer to these kinds of questions. Best practices. Here are a few final pieces of practical advice. Develop a long-term perspective. Price should never be your only consideration. In fact, focusing solely on cost may obscure other benefits such as marketing concessions, a building's air rights, or the opportunity to work with these parties again. Be flexible. Stay open to new ideas and compromises. However, being flexible does not mean being an easy mark. Have more than one goal. With several objectives, you'll be able to find trade-offs and solutions that benefit all parties.